I greatly appreciate you. I am Jose V. This is Straight Bet Sports brought to you by Vegas Sports Daily. Thank you guys for joining me. If you're watching live right now, it's late, but hey, it's quarantine edition, baby. We hanging out. I know some of you got your stimulus checks. You got your Trump money. I know you're probably hanging out playing your video games. Don't lie. You probably bought a new TV. You're probably watching me on your brand new laptop or hell, maybe your brand new phone that you got. But it's all good, man. We're gonna talk about three things tonight. Quick and easy, quick and simple. I got my man Spencer the Wiz from OuttalIne out here on Fox Sports Radio with Bryan Feldman. Took my old job, but he's doing a great job over there, man. So we're gonna jump into the WNBA. They got their virtual draft tomorrow. Not only that, we're also gonna talk about what other leagues follow. The NFL is right around the corner. Next week they're doing their draft as well virtually. So we're gonna see how that's gonna work out. So once again, I am Jose V. This is Straight Bet Sports brought to you by Vegas Sports Daily. I'm gonna go ahead and get Spencer the Wiz on to hop on here and talk on with me. What's going on, brother? Greatly appreciate you joining me. I know you're at home quarantining, probably finishing up some of your college schoolwork, since I know you are enrolled in UNLV right now, but you got a lot of homeschooling, I guess you can call that now, right?
It feels really weird, yeah. I just had 2 major accounting exams that I would have been sweating over. I did sweat over them last week, but it's weird to sweat in your own room. It's definitely a different environment to take a pressured exam in because you're so comfortable in your room, but you got the time crunch to think about. Finished one of my accounting exams with 10 seconds left, so I was really cutting it close, especially online assignments. You usually got that tangible thing that you turn into class, but this time everything's online, so it gets a little weird, but I'm adjusting and quarantining, trying to stay sane as best as I can. I guess it's the best way to put it.
So let the people know out there briefly, man, before we get started on what we're doing, what you got going on and where they can check you out and where they can find you. We'll get to that at the end of the show as well. But just briefly let them know right now where you could be found at.
So first, with OuttalIne, it's OuttalIne Fox LV. That's with Bryan Feldman, of course. So we're probably going to be doing some shows coming up, so you definitely want to check that out. We're going to be coming back, talking some stuff. My own personal page is right there next to me, Spencer the Wiz. That's just kind of my everyday stuff. I got Delivering Sports, which is my own sports podcast, on Twitter at Delivering Sport, and Instagram and YouTube, of course. And I also do another podcast called Blue Milk Boys, which is like more of a pop culture podcast, if you will. I try to separate them. I'm super organized, so I don't like to have like one kind of thing for everything. So I want to make sure my content is segregated for people who like specific things.
I've actually been thinking about that too, because I know majority of stuff that I do is sports related, but you got to switch it up sometimes. And there's times where I want to speak my mind and talk about certain things, and I just can't do it because all I'm doing is talking sports or just focus on sports in general as the main topic of conversation. And I might be venturing in, probably starting out something else with that too. But just real quick, let's jump right into it. One of the things to talk about, we're not into the players, the ins and outs of all of the people that are possibly going to get drafted tomorrow and how they're going to be drafted. But that's what we do want to talk about, is how they're going to go about the draft process. Now, they're going to go about it virtually. They're going to be the first league to do so. I haven't read too much on, I'm guessing probably Zoom rooms and things like that, like everybody else is using. Probably a lot of phone calls. I'm going to guess probably a lot of time that they're going to be doing well. But with that being said, my biggest question is, one, is it going to work? That's what we want to know. Is it really going to work, and is it going to be a headache? And if you're the NFL, right, you're right around the corner. Your draft is literally next week, which should have been out here, but it's because it's not going to be out here now. But your draft was literally right around the corner. If you're the NFL, aren't you watching this? Aren't you sitting back and you got your pen and paper, and if you're every single NFL GM tomorrow, every single owner, every person in charge of NFL operations tomorrow, aren't you watching this draft? Not only that, aren't you reaching out to some of these general managers and making these relationships, these communications to find out, hey, how did that go? Did you have an issue? Did you have a problem? If you did, how did you overcome it? Was there any lags? Did you feel that you were being hacked? I mean, there's going to be a lot of crazy questions, a lot of conspiracies. Am I wrong here? You know what I mean? But is it safe to say that the NFL is probably going to try to piggyback and watch what they're doing?
Yeah, the problem is it's definitely not going to be on the same level, just because the NFL is going to invest a lot more into it. But definitely, if anything goes wrong, they're going to learn from it and learn why they think they won't be doing it, basically, is what it's going to come down to. Personally, I think there's going to be a lot of problems with the WNBA. It's just they're not sending people out to set up people's houses and stuff like that. Like that, the NFL I think has the first like 48 top prospects like ready and taped up. That's just not going to happen in the WNBA, quite frankly. So they'll be watching because they're the first one to do it. Like, and I'm sure all the other ones will follow suit. Potentially the NBA too, depends. Like, because their draft's pretty soon after the finals, and who knows when that's going to happen. But I mean, I hope it goes well. I really do. I want to know what they're going to do when it goes wrong. I'm basically expecting something to go wrong, and I'm curious to see what cutaways they have, what backup plans. Does the WNBA have backup plans if one of their prospects like starts cutting out? If if their connection is not great and they start lagging behind, like where do you cut off a person that they think their connection is going to come back?
Let's be real. It's going to happen. No internet. I don't care. I don't care who you are. No internet connection is that secure or that great. I don't care. The president of the United States. If you're going to buffer, you're going to buffer. Call me crazy. I know people are going to say, oh, the president of the United States got everything better than us. I get that. But let's be real, bro. If you're going to have an issue with your internet, you're going to have an issue. Especially if there are going to be that many people using the same type of network at the same exact time. We're going to see some type of glitch. We're going to see some type of problem. I wouldn't be surprised if we see somebody miss their pick because they thought they were on time, but they were actually late.
Yeah, what are they going to do about that? Actually, if they try to send in their digital pick or whatever, and it cuts out, I mean, what do you do at that point? There's a timer for these things. I don't know if it's like that in the WNBA. I'm pretty sure they don't care at that point in the WNBA. They just want the picks to come in. But obviously, for the NFL, there is that clock that starts and ends. So, can you argue that if you went over time that there was a problem calling the person and connecting with them and stuff like that? I don't know. That is crazy to think about, actually.
So what do you see possibly being one of the biggest issues, though? Well, what can you – I mean, obviously, we talk about internet connection. We all know that. We're doing a live video right now. If our internet feed doesn't work, this doesn't work. You know what I mean? So aside from internet being obviously the biggest factor here, what is another possibility of an issue that you can possibly see happening?
I'm just thinking technically, like not everyone's going to be hooked up to an Ethernet cord, which is like the most ideal way for your connection to be done. So basically, if someone suspects you to be picked also, like the people in your house are going to be getting a lot of buzz, like through Twitter, like their cousins and their moms are going to be there. So if someone's like, oh, I think this person's going to be picked, suddenly their phones start blowing up and they're taking all the internet and the money, the Ethernet away. So I mean, it's kind of it is different, but it's kind of on the same subject. But that really is the biggest concern is that just no one's ever had this much internet connectivity. And plus, what if the feed is working, but the people watching it can't see it on their phone or something like that? Then you're hosting some sort of broadcast that no one can see. Like that's also a major concern.
Now, how do you see the fans? Obviously, we know the fan support with the WNBA isn't the greatest. I mean, I've covered the WNBA the 2 seasons that we've had the Aces out here. I've seen it grow, obviously, from year 1 to year 2. So we do see the differences in the fans and the type of people that come out and support this league in general. But how do you think the fans are going to interact with this type of virtual draft? Do you think the fans are going to like it? Do you think it's going to get better ratings? I mean, look at what just happened with the horse competition. I mean, I understand 2 different scenarios, 2 different things, but it's something that's being done virtually. It's a video. It's even though it's live. Do you see fans actually saying, hey, I got to tune into this tomorrow? No disrespect to the WNBA. Like I said, I cover the Aces. I cover the WNBA. So I'm a fan of the sport and of the league itself and of these women. But do you see fans actually being attracted to this type of virtual draft tomorrow?
Well, yeah, no, for sure. Like on the same boat, I was so excited for the WNBA to come here. I was scouting Asia Wilson in college. So I watched like all of her college games. I knew when I found out we had the first overall pick, I watched all of her games from that point on. So I've also covered them for 2 years. You can go look on Delivering Sports YouTube page. I used to do post-game coverage after every single game. I actually did more coverage for the team than the actual team did for free. Tried to get hired by them. Anyways, honestly, I think the ratings are going to be really high, but it's going to be a disaster. And I'll tell you why. If you ever go to any post about a woman on any sports medium, ESPN, Fox Sports, if you look at the comments, it's a cesspool of just some of the worst people you've ever seen. And Some of them are serious, I'm sure, but the majority of them are just trying to see like who's going to get baited, and I think there's going to be a tremendous amount of that. Now, in terms of the WNBA and revenues, like their ads, it's great. No one knows the difference between someone who's trolling and someone who actually wants to be there. So it's a kind of a double-edged sword. The ratings are going to be great, but the fans may be deterred from like being happy about it just because of how bad the people are going to be acting in the comment section. So I think that'll be interesting to see how that goes.
So let's go away from the actual draft itself. I do want to talk about the NFL virtual draft and get your thoughts on that and how that's going to. But with that being said, let's kind of stick to the WNBA a bit, okay? You have the draft tomorrow. The season is right around the corner. Training camp, preseason, whatever they want to call it. They didn't really have that last year. That was one of the things that Bill talked about. They didn't really have a preseason in a way, kind of. It was different. This season, there's a great possibility you might not have a preseason again. But not only that, the season might not even start on time, depending on what happens. I mean, we're not talking politics. We're not talking governments. Obviously, we know what Trump came out and said, that he's going to allow governors to, make their own shots, even though President Trump, they already have that power. You're not above them. But how are they going to adjust now? Last year, after getting Liz Cambage, they became the favorites to win the WNBA championship right off the bat, which to me was crazy. I was excited about it. I thought we had a great team on paper, but until you play a game, it doesn't mean anything. Let's be real. That's why
I can get into that for sure.
There's odds and all that crap. I don't listen to it until I see, actual action on the hardwood. Now, if we don't get started on time, how is this going to affect the Aces? Because they're expecting to have a big season this year. Not only the Aces, obviously, we know it's going to affect the whole WNBA. But I'm talking about, we cover the Aces. We're here in Vegas. Let's talk Aces. How is it going to affect our Las Vegas Aces here?
I'll tell you this. As long as Bill Laimbeer is the coach, we have a 0% chance of winning a finals. Like, there's no chance.
What is it with you and Bill Laimbeer? Why do you
He's
not
the
like
worst
Bill
coach
Laimbeer?
in the WNBA.
You sound like your boss, Bryan Feldman, over here, talking about that.
It's a fact. On me. We shoot 40 years ago. He doesn't remember. We shoot like 6 threes a game. We're never going to win that way. We won't. Can you argue that at all? Has the team in the bottom? I don't know. Say bottom half. Has the last place team in 3-point field goal attempts ever won a finals in the past 20 years?
Not that I know of. I don't have statistics.
No, of course not. Of course not. As long as that stays consistent, which it has in his entire tenure with the Aces, that's all you need to know. And going back to San Antonio too, of course, we have the best roster definitively in the WNBA. We should go undefeated.
He's got shooters. And I get that, yes. But you also have inconsistent people. You have people like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to rip. I'm sorry.
No, let me tell you the fundamentals let me tell you the fundamentals of our offense, of what's wrong with it, and the defense that's wrong with it. I used to go to every game. Trust me, I analyzed every single play, and I know exactly what it does. We're playing from the elbow with Liz Cambage and A'ja Wilson, two places that none of them want to be. They're low post people. I understand that A'ja can go from the elbow, jumper. That's fine, but forcing her into that situation, I would say 60 to 70% of the time, and forcing Liz and A'ja to run from that position, that's like 2008 Grizzlies, and it doesn't work in the modern times. That was 12 years ago. I mean, we have to he has to recognize that we have very, very capable. As much as Jackie Young's fine, but she deserved to go like 5th overall in that draft. But that's an argument for another time. She's fine.
Could not have gone. Yeah,
who drafted Jackie Young? Bill Laimbeer. She wasn't even like I said, she's probably the 5th best player in the draft. I think she has a place in the WNBA, but it wasn't.
Her teammate's name, but her teammate in college was better than her. I'm sorry. Way better. That's what I wanted. Anyways, if you allow the ball to go through, if you allow pick and rolls with Kelsey Plum and A'ja Wilson, which is probably the most, there's obviously no advanced stats in the WNBA. They just don't exist when they don't invest in it. From what I observed in my 2 years of seeing it, I would say the Kelsey Plum, A'ja Wilson pick and roll is probably the most efficient play in the WNBA overall. They don't do it nearly as often. They don't allow Liz Cambage to get the ball in the low post or A'ja Wilson nearly enough. It happened once, I think, with A'ja Wilson. That was her 40-point game.
where she was allowed to just actually go off and not have to do it. And Bill Laimbeer forces these players to run set plays instead of going in the flow of the offense. There are times when players are wide open, but they'll forcibly look where they're supposed to pass because that's what the X and O on the playbook does. And you can tell that is being reinforced in practice. It's not, hey, we're running this play, but if you see an opening within it, kind of a natural flow of it, go for it. No, it's you're passing here at the elbow, and then you look to the left and you pass it to that person. They do it over and over again. It's so frustrating to see.
It kind of gets to something that I wanted to tell you about. Kelsey Plum. She is a completely different player than she was in college. Not only that,
forced to be.
Exactly. Now, it has to be coaching. I honestly believe that she's great, but she's not great under Bill Laimbeer's coaching style.
No one is.
That's the problem. No one is. I'm not going to say no. I like him as a coach. I'm not going to say he's great. I didn't say he's great. I didn't say anything like that. So let's just he's bad. But I honestly think that his coaching style was bringing Kelsey Plum down. I think that she should be a whole lot more.
She could average 30 points. She could be the female James Harden. She could average 30 points a game.
Easily. She can be the female James Harden. No doubt about it.
She's an off-ball shooter who shoots 4 times a game. And he brought her off the bench sometimes. I'm surprised he hasn't demanded a trade. Honestly, I mean, I'm dreading the day. It's going to come. It's going to come this season too.
It's going to
happen. It is. It's going to happen, and we're going to lose our best player. I think she could be our best player. He's going to give her away for nothing because he's also the GM. He's going to trade her away for nothing when she demands it.
He's going to trade her away for whatever he feels is best. He's going to trade her away for whatever he feels is best at the end of the day.
Whatever, second round pick. Yeah. That's my guess. A second round pick.
Once again, I am Jose V. This is Straight Bet Sports, brought to you by Vegas Sports Daily. I'm hanging out with my guy Spencer the Wiz from OuttalIne on Fox Sports Radio here in Las Vegas. Formerly a Sunday mornings, but right now on hiatus because of the quarantine and everything that's going on. Big shout out to my guy, Bryan Feldmans out there. If you guys see the ticker down here at the bottom, don't forget tomorrow, Friday afternoon, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be chatting it up live, as you see here, but I will be with Noah Robotham, former UNLV running rebel. Will be chatting it up with me. We're going to talk about his days at Akron, his days at Bishop Gorman. I want to talk to him a bit about that, even though it's a long time ago, but he's away from basketball now, and talk about his final days at UNLV, some of his glory moment games that he had, like the game against Boise State and the tough-fought games that he had against San Diego State when they couldn't pull it off. But it should be a fun conversation. Just don't forget to check that out. It will be on Vegas Sports Daily's Facebook page. We'll be sharing that as well. Not only that, I will be sharing it on my Twitter page at Jose Volonte, as you see right down here on the bottom. So once again, I'm being joined by Spencer the Wiz from OuttalIne Fox Sports Radio here in Las Vegas with Bryan Feldmans. Spence, we were talking WNBA Virtual Draft. Now, I want to talk about the NFL draft coming up this upcoming week. Not the players, not the guys getting drafted. We're not going to do X's and O's. We're not going to do Mel Kiper and Todd McShay type things here. That's not what we're here to talk about tonight. We'll get to that another night. We have a lot of time on our hands, so we'll get to that. But the WNBA Virtual Draft, like we said, is the NFL going to piggyback off of it? Now, I honestly think that they are going to piggyback off on it, and here's why. It's the same reason why Apple has become so famous and popular and ahead of everyone, even though they're technically behind everyone, if that makes sense. Apple comes out with Swipe on their phone when Samsung had it 4 years ago. Apple comes out with Apple Facial ID to unlock your phone when Samsung had it 3-4 years ago. So on and so forth. That's basically what the NFL is going to do. They're going to sit back and wait and use this 1 week period and go, okay, that didn't work. Okay, we're going to get rid of that. Okay, we're going to adjust this. Okay, wait. Wait, I like that. But wait, let's get rid of this. And not only that, I guarantee you, like I said earlier, they're going to be on the phones. They're going to be calling. GM's phones are going to be blowing up. People are going to be becoming best friends and talking about, hey, when this coronavirus thing is over, we'll be taking you to dinner. But everyone's going to want to get the inside scoop on what went right and what went wrong. And honestly, for the NFL, I think this is the best time and the best opportunity for them to take advantage of this opportunity. I mean, because they're not going to be able to do the draft in Vegas like they had already planned, which is probably, was probably going to be huge with revenue. Not only that, probably ratings, fans watching it, supporting it, was going to be crazy. They lost out on that. So How are you going to make this virtual experience even better when you've never done it and people are already talking bad about it? Boom, here comes the WNBA to give you your first chance of how to make it right if we make it wrong. Now, I hope it works out for the best because I want to see a great NFL virtual draft. I'm going to be off day one like I was supposed to be originally to go, be at the draft, and I'm not going to be there, which sucks, but it is what it is. But I'm looking forward to it. And honestly, I think this is a great thing for the NFL. I think they're going to capitalize on it. And I think that you're going to see some bad things happen tomorrow, not to jinx the WNBA, but I think the NFL is going to capitalize off of it.
Yeah, I just think the key difference between the two of them is that the NFL will have a lot more contingency plans. Like they'll have a backup to the backup. If this feed goes off, oh, we're going to this person now. Sorry for the technical difficulty. They start lagging. Oh, sorry, we have this third panel. And if that goes wrong, we'll have some pre-made video or something like that. They really want to make sure that even if there is technical difficulty, you probably won't even notice it. It'll be that quick, They'll probably have a host, I'm imagining, with like the most secure network like imaginable, who will be able to like transition people from here to here. Like, okay, sorry, Goodell's gone. Let's go here. Like he won't even be like talking that significantly. He'll just be the person to kind of guide the broadcast, and he'll be the one the NFL's talking to in the ear saying, oh, say this, and it'll kind of go along. I don't think the WNBA just doesn't have those kinds of resources. And plus their marketing and stuff is terrible anyway. So I really don't think that they have a technical team necessary to make this truly successful. Keep in mind, this is the same league that didn't sell.
Tell me how you really feel about the WNBA.
Huh?
Speak your mind.
Yeah. So in the first season, the Aces were here. You couldn't buy a jersey until halfway through the season. So that's the league that we're dealing with. That's going to be hosting a virtual draft tomorrow. I love trust me, I love the WNBA. My most popular YouTube video ever is actually defending the players of the WNBA and basically bashing the marketing. I think it has like 3,500 views or something on Delivering Sports. You can go see it. So if it sounds like I'm slandering the WNBA just in general, I'm not, because it's one of my favorite leagues to watch. So I'm just really passionate about it. So it comes out every once in a while.
So you're very passionate, but you like to bash them every now and then. Got it. Just like we got that. We got it.
I want to make it. That's all I want.
Oh man, you just want better competition, better marketing, better everything, or what?
So yeah, I mean they're not performing. Look, am I saying that the WNBA is going to be better than the NBA someday? I hate it when people think that when I defend the NBA, I'm saying that. No, but just think about it. The Big Three league exists and it's successful. So why can't the WNBA? It's not going to be on the same level, but it can still be successful in its own field in the way that it is. It doesn't have to be the biggest thing ever. That's why minor league, that's why the single A exists. Basically, all these different things, like even though they're minor leagues, they're still successful in their own right. They make a certain amount of money that's good for them.
It's all about marketing. It's all about marketing, who your marketing team is, who do you market to, who are your sponsors, all of that. Because think about what Ice Cube did. I'm so happy you brought Ice Cube and the Big Three up, because I'm a huge fan of the Big Three. I love what he's done with that league, because I grew up playing 3-on-3 basketball. I know what it is. You got to win by 2 and the rules and everything that I love it, bro, because there's no game clocks. There's none of that. Not only that, it's become an Olympic sport now. 3-on-3 basketball is an Olympic sport. I believe it's either going to be or it already is, one of the two. But it's an Olympic sport now. It's known worldwide as an Olympic sport. So think about it. Something that Ice Cube created from something he used to play in his backyard, probably down the street in Compton at the park. He's made it into something huge, just insanely huge.
Yeah, and he's doing a really good job of making it fun and popular. And I just want to say one more thing about the marketing of the WNBA. You know how Liz Campage was probably like one of the biggest trades in WNBA history? You know where you could find her, like in posters and stuff in their home stadium, like when it happened? Nowhere. They never put her face on a poster in MGM, in the MGM Grand. Carolyn Swords was in her position the entire season after they traded for her.
That's insane, man. They got to be better marketing for sure. Shout out to my man John Maxwell, though. He's a great guy, media relations guy for the Las Vegas Aces. Just want to give him a big shout out. He's taken care of me since day one. So big shout out to you. You do great things, man. You take care of the media. We greatly appreciate you. Don't listen to this young man over here.
I just have a small personal vendetta because I tried to get hired by the team for 2 years and they ghosted me twice. So
we'll put the plug out there for you. Don't worry.
Ghosted me twice. I love the Aces though. Trust me. I'm their biggest fan. I truly am.
So once again, I am Jose V. This is Straight Bet Sports brought to you by Vegas Sports Daily. Doing a little midnight quarantine video edition here from the crib, hanging out with Spencer Wojtrowski. Spencer the Wiz from Fox Sports Radio's Out of Line with Bryan Feldman every Sunday morning. If you guys can hear the little man in the background, yes, I'm home. So we're all working from home. I'm a little bit older. I got my son running around. I know people are saying, why is he awake? Hey, he doesn't have school. He's not old enough to go to school. So relax, people. He's fine. Anyways, going back to what we're talking about. Again, man, don't forget tomorrow, Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will be on here once again with Noah Robotham, former UNLV running Rebel. You might want to check that out. Should be cool. Not only that, I want to drop a little bombshell on you guys. Caleb Grill, new UNLV transfer from Iowa State. I've been in contact with him for the last couple of weeks. I will be interviewing him tomorrow as well. We're only doing a video, though. I'm only doing an audio. We're not doing a video. Couldn't get that set up, so we're going to do a podcast with him. So check out and be on the lookout for that. That should be fun. Want to get his thoughts on why he chose UNLV. And not only that, third time's the charm. This is the third time that TJ tried to recruit him and get him out. He finally got his man, so we'll see if it was worth the wait. So going back to our conversation here, Spence, final thing I wanted to talk to you about. Good old Kyle Larson. Good old Kyle, formerly of NASCAR country, Kyle Larson. Now, one thing I need to get perfectly clear here. I grew up in South Central LA, okay? I grew up in a very, very bad neighborhood, predominantly Black and Hispanic. That's what it was. And I grew up with certain people that spoke a certain way. And certain things are allowed, other things are not. I'm not making excuses for anybody. What Kyle Larson said is horrible. No one should ever use or say that word. I mean, watching it in the Django Unchained was tough enough, but that's a movie. It's completely different. Now, no matter who you are or what position you feel you may be in or how famous you may think you are, you can't slip. But not only slip, you cannot slip the way you did. And to come back, I don't know if you saw the apology because I know you saw the main video.
I saw the apology, yeah.
Excuse my language, but the apology was the biggest piece of shit that I have ever seen in my life. This is him. So, yeah, I'm not raised that way. You know, I'm sorry. You know, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I wanted to jump through the screen and just slap the guy. And not only that, Kyle, the way that you said it, so comfortably and just came out. And for you to think that no one else was in that room but you and the other person that was part of that simulation proves to me even more that you're a racist piece of shit. Excuse my French, guys. Now, I'm not going to name I have a black friend, I have this. No. But I'm going to say that I have friends of all colors, races, shapes, and forms. Look you're not Hispanic. I am. We're doing a podcast together today. You see what I'm saying? It's not about where you're from, where your mom's from, what color you are, what you look like. But there's certain things that just should not be said. And then I hate when you get the idiots that come out and say, well, they say the certain N-word on some songs and this and that. No, you just don't understand the difference. There's a complete difference. You're not African American. You're not black. Yes, there's two different words. I totally understand that. I get that. But you shouldn't use the word period, regardless. And I know I'm going back to the same thing, but for you to say it the way that he said it, and freely thinking that no one else was in that room but you and someone else, then I'm sorry, you meant to say it. And not only that, you say that word a lot more comfortably and freely behind closed doors, and you probably been saying it for a long time. Now that's just how I feel about the situation. I don't know what you think, Spence. What are your thoughts on Kyle and what he said? And not only that, I'm happy with the way NASCAR and all his endorsements right out the window, quick. They didn't hesitate. So what are your overall thoughts on that whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, the idea that it slipped out or whatever, that means it's a part of his everyday vernacular. So you're not going to slip words that you don't say like often. That's just not how it works. So obviously, this is not the first time he said it since he learned the word. I mean, that's kind of the idea behind it.
You don't
Yeah, I
say
mean,
it. You just don't say that word, man.
that's not something that slips. Not really.
No,
I mean,
never.
you don't accidentally say that, but
Never.
yeah, I mean, you have to make an apology video. I mean, it was just it is
No. That apology video that he did is that who was gonna want to hear another apology video? You got to do way more than that.
Yeah. So, and you know, I've also been thinking about this too. It's like now he'll like go out to communities and help these like poor communities or something like that. Like that's stuff you should ultimately just be doing anyways, not just when you do something.
Why does
really
it have
bad.
to come to that now?
Yeah. So I really don't like the idea that you can like redeem yourself just because you're doing these things now when you should really be helping out your community anyways. But he'll end up doing it anyways, of course. And he was appropriately fired. He's going to end up being hired by someone else. I think that goes without say whether he deserves it or not. I mean, I don't think that's truly up to me, but it's going to be the thing where, okay, he signs and he'll come out and say, yeah, I've learned my lesson, blah, 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 blah. And everyone will forget about it and move on, basically. It's my thoughts on this.
But see, that's the problem. That's the problem that, he'll get a job. Everyone will forget about it and he'll move on. But then it's going to happen again. And that's the thing. That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand is that I'm 36 years old. I grew up in a neighborhood in a time where racism was still tough. It was big. It was hard. You had Hispanics going against blacks, whites, Hispanics. I mean, it was crazy. You know, like if you weren't part of that race or part of that ethnicity, you weren't liked. You know, and I grew up in a neighborhood where I had my aunt next to me, and next to me, I had a bunch of older black ladies that were the most amazing women ever. They always looked out for me when I was a kid, always talked to my mom, always talked to my brothers, my family. So when you hear stuff like this, I'm at work and I'm hearing about this. Oh, did you hear what this guy did and what he said? Like, it sucks, bro, that we still live in this type of society where it comes to that, where we still have to hear NASCAR drivers or just athletes, superstar athletes, saying shit that they shouldn't be saying. Why are you even thinking that word? What caused him to think that word at that point in time? How? I mean, okay, if he's using that word, he's thinking that there's a black man on that other end of the video. I'm guessing. You don't. So that's why you use that word. So that's how you feel about an African American, about a black person. That's insane, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
you proving, not you. I'm sorry. Yeah, Kyle Larson has proven himself at this point, in my opinion, to be a racist.
I mean, the way he says it. I mean, I was watching the video knowing he was going to say it. I still didn't expect it. Yeah, I mean, like he didn't even know it was going to come. He thought it'd be a much of different. You would think it'd be a different context, but no, it just kind of came out. So yeah, I do have reason to believe he is like pretty fundamentally racist. I don't know if he's going out and like lynching people or something like that. Like I don't think it goes that far, like where he's dedicated his life to it. But for sure, it's in there. I mean. So now he gets fired from NASCAR. And like I said, do I think he should get another NASCAR job? Probably not. But I think he deserves to, never have a job again and die of hunger.
No, of course.
Probably not either. But I don't think he deserves to be in the professional light ever again. Maybe he can be a car dealer at some dealership or something in Kentucky. I don't know.
I used to speed in cars. Now I sell cars.
I can see the commercial now in some sort of local county.
I've resurrected my career. Anyways, once again, I am Jose V. This is Straight Bet Sports brought to you by Vegas Sports Daily. Hanging out with Spencer the Wiz, man. Good little conversation here talking WNBA draft, virtual draft. If you guys are WNBA fans, don't forget to check that out tomorrow. Should be fun. See who the Aces get. See where the player from Oregon, the Kobe lover, where is she going? People say she's what did they call her the other day? She could be the next Kobe Bryant of the NBA or WNBA or whatever it may be, the Black Mamba. So we shall see. It's going to be interesting. What is the NFL going to do with their virtual draft? That's going to be fun as well. Now, Spence, as we are talking about sports, there's not much sports going on to talk about in general.
No.
We can just talk about what we see and what we hear and what we can try to add to that. Since we are home and that's pretty much where we're spending most of our time, what are you doing during this COVID-19 shutdown situation here in Las Vegas and in the city of Nevada as well, to keep yourself occupied?
Well, not luckily I have school. I would prefer not to do so much schoolwork, but school definitely does take up a lot of my time. I'm focusing on my business. Obviously, I do have an app, so that also takes up a significant portion of my time. Trying to develop another business with my dad. I'm trying to use this time as much as possible. And I'm also exercising. I'm trying to stay as active as possible. I'm not going out and running. I'm doing this step exercise with Sean T. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's this new called like Step Up or something like that. So I'm trying to keep as balanced a life as I can while also trying to improve like my life after this happens, like trying to get my business set up. Okay. And luckily my business is an app, so the nature of it garnishes people who are in their houses more because people are on their phones more. So that kind of has been a small blessing in disguise, I guess, if a bright spot, if anything. So yeah, I'm just trying to be as productive and not just sit around and eat at all times because it's so easy to do that during this time.
I know, right? I think I've gained like 5 or 6 pounds, bro, easily. Just eating like crazy, barbecuing, having a good time.
You're bored, you eat.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you going to do? I mean, I'm over here watching reruns of freaking NBA finals and old Super Bowls and Tom Brady's tuck rule game. And I'm like, you know what? I love sports, but I'm getting tired of it. Like, I have a buddy that was telling me the other day, he goes, I've been watching YouTube fights, watching old boxing fights, and I'm just sitting there judging it, seeing what I get round for round, see if I was with the guys, not being biased. So it's like you got to come up with different ideas of things to do. And a good friend of mine, Nick Hamilton, said it. I had him on my podcast about a week ago. I know I keep harping on it, but like he said, this is the time where if you're in sports media, and not in these words, and just paraphrasing, that it's going to show what you're about. What type of content can you bring out, and what can you continue to bring out? Is it worth your time? Is it worth other people's time? So, it's yet to be seen. Hopefully people like what we're doing. We're going to continue to keep doing this. But it's getting late here. We're going to go ahead and finish up. If you guys are watching this on a pre-recorded video, make sure you check out our YouTube page, which you're probably doing right now if you're watching it recorded. But if you're watching this live and you have not checked it out, check me out on YouTube. It's Jose V Vegas Sports Daily. You can find all my videos that I posted on there. If not, VegasSportsDaily.com. You can check out my content and all of the other contributors on there as well. Big shout out to Mike Dixon, chief editor and main contributor to Vegas Sports Daily and founder as well, VegasSportsDaily.com. Always got to give him a big shout out. Been real nice to me, real gracious to help me use this platform to get where I'm at and continue to do what I do here. So once again, Spence, I do appreciate you joining me this morning now, I should say. It's 1:11 here a.m. But before I let you go, once again, let the people know what you got going on, where they can find you on all things social media.
Yeah, I got a lot. So you can see me like right here. It's at Spencer the Wiz. It's my personal page. That's my day-to-day stuff. I got at Delivering Sport, which is my sports podcast. You got at OuttalIne Fox LV, which is what I interned for with Bryan Feldman. Check me out on Blue Milk Boys. I don't know if you can see that. I got my hoodie on.
There you go.
And then if you want to check out my app too, it's I Role Play. It's on the App Store. So that'd be cool if you check it out too.
There you go. He is Spencer the Wiz. Appreciate you, man. Definitely do this again. Fun times. We'll go ahead and finish up now. Just want to let you guys know that I'm tired. I'm going to bed. I think it's time for me to call it a night. Got a big day tomorrow. Remember, as you can see the ticker right down here, tomorrow, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please, please, please check out my Facebook, check out Vegas Sports Daily's Facebook page, and check out my Twitter at Jose_Volonte. Remember, I'll have former UNLV running rebel Noah Robotham live with me on the video chat here. So, gonna be fun time. Make sure you check it out. Once again, if you guys are at home, stay safe, wash your hands. If you don't have to leave the house, don't leave. And if you do, please leave your kids at home. You don't got to take them out with you. Till then, once again, I am Jose V. This has been Straight Bet Sports, brought to you by Vegas Sports Daily. Appreciate you guys joining on, watching live, and if not, watching later. Till then, I am out. Peace.